that I think is really good is Jordan Love. So I had joked for years I had more video of Bigfoot than Jordan Love for 3 years at practice. Like they wouldn't release video. Then I saw him, and I was like, "Oh, this is rough." Matt LaFleur criticized him at a press conference. Then I saw him, and I'm like, "Oh, this kid's got a whip. This is an arm. This kid is something." And then last year he's banged up, and he kind of regresses. So where are we, according to your 50 GMs, assistant GMs, where are we on Jordan Love?
Well, he's low tier 2. The only guy lower in tier 2 is Brock Purdy. I think with a feeling that he has the talent to ascend higher in tier 2. But I thought the quotes on him were fascinating all over the place. One guy said, "Hey, I think that Matt LaFleur is actually holding him back by, running his offense and should be tailored around him." Another one was like, "Hey, this guy Jordan Love is propped up by the big skill players around him." And I think another one was, talking about just, that he's really hasn't taken that next step, and you wonder why. And it seems odd that he throws the ball deep so much. Like, was this part of the plan, or is he a throwback to guys who wing it down the field? Some of that plays into the interceptions. I just felt it wasn't focused. The talk around him wasn't as focused. I don't have as good of a feel of the direction.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to defend him. Them drafting a receiver in the first round tells you that they don't trust their group of receivers. There's some health issues, some drop issues, some immaturity issues. And by going after a receiver from Texas, who I like, and I think Green Bay historically drafts pretty smart. They do. They draft and develop. I think it kind of spoke volumes about it's not a Jordan issue. It's, you know what, these receivers, we got some issues here. So I'm on the Jordan Love bandwagon.
Yeah. I think it's actually kind of clear here with Jordan Love. I think at the end of the day with Jordan Love, there will be no middle ground. He's going to either be absolutely elite and just be devastating with his arm and an absolute elite playmaker from the pocket, or you'll just get seasons like we got last year. And again, I know that was marred by injuries and whatnot. I totally respect that and defend that. But I think Jordan Love's style of play, unless it evolves and changes, which is possible, but and I'm looking for it to change a little bit. But I just think Jordan Love is the type of quarterback where there's potentially no in between, where if you can protect him, if you can give him some legitimate true weapons on the outside and a run game. It doesn't have to be a dominant run game, but you got to be able to get some yards, right? You got to not have this feeling that you have no run support whatsoever. But even then, I think it would still be fine. That Jordan Love is just a quarterback where you have to you got to give him the pieces around him for him to just really just get after you. With his skill set and his arm, I don't know if he's the type of quarterback where he's going to run a style of offense and even be comfortable, where you're going to be like, all right, we don't have the best wide receivers right now, or this, that. We're going to be a real heavy run first team, and we're going to do this, that, and the third. Like, I just don't know if that's what sets Jordan Love up to shine. I think at the core of it, he is such an aggressive thrower of the ball, and he is great at it, but he needs to have the team around him to be able to actually really shine and show what he can do. I think that's ultimately probably what it gets boiled down to more than anything. Unless Matt LaFleur can hone this team in more, and like I've said before now, have them play more on time, more in rhythm, more within the flow of things, more balanced, and get easier layups. And this is why I keep saying, feed the ball to Kraft, feed the ball to Kraft, feed the ball to Kraft, and get a lot of these more short intermediate throws and just, 5 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards, 4, just keep it all close, because I think, again, Jordan Love can wheel and deal that way as well. And obviously you're still taking shots down the field and all that fun stuff, but just playing more within rhythm, more on time, less loose. But if you're going to continue with the more like, hey, we're going to play a little loose, well, then you got to have the guys who can catch the ball, man, and make big plays. Like Jordan Love is going to be one of those guys where it's just kind of like, I put my wide receiver in a spot to be able to make that spectacular catch, to have that spectacular, oh my goodness, what did I just watch? And I think that would be fair. And Kurt Warner kind of talked about this. That part of what makes Jordan Love so great is his aggression, and it's what makes the defense feel like, oh my gosh, like at any given moment, like we can just get the top blown off this thing. And that is its own superpower. You need to be able to do both. You need to be able to pulse it a little bit and give a little bit and take a little bit. But I do think that Jordan Love, I'm trying to think of like a team. Jordan Love's not the quarterback from my viewpoint, and at least Matt LaFleur at least hasn't guided this team this way, where if he had a roster similar to like what the Kansas City Chiefs had in 22 or even 23, I do not think that's something that a Jordan Love thrives in. I do not. You give him Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and I think he absolutely unleashes. And don't get lost in the conversation where you say, well, yeah, if you got two great wide receivers, then anyone can do that. And it's like, no. Right? Like you don't just insert, you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You don't just insert any old quarterback and now you're putting up 4,500 yards and 40 some touchdowns. Like we got to act like that's not the case. That's just not reality. And same thing where, even if you're an amazing quarterback, you can be a great quarterback. You can be an elite quarterback. Your specific skill set might not shine in a specifically designed team. Like, again, I'll use Joe Burrow and compare it to like the Kansas City Chiefs of 22. Like, Joe Burrow does not shine in an offense like that. And what Joe Burrow does great and what makes him special, that's not how he will shine. And Jordan Love, right now, at least at this point in his career, I don't want to say there's an unwillingness, but like he does want to be deep and aggressive. And I don't know if that's still Matt LaFleur's like, this is what I still want you to do, or if it's just kind of like, because Matt LaFleur is definitely more of like a run first guy, but like it's why it's always hard to really know what the true plan of attack is unless you're really in those rooms. We can listen to some interviews, we can have some insiders, but it's like, unless you're really having a conversation with like Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love and just listen to them have their conversations back and forth, it's a lot of guesswork. There's times that Jordan Love is aggressive or takes a shot down the field and we're like, is that what Matt LaFleur wanted or not? Like, I don't know. I don't know. And that's why I'm so excited to see what this year looks like, because we saw you had such an amazing year in 23. There was final 10 games or whatever, and it was like unbelievable. I mean, it was some of the most exciting football you could honestly ever watch. And then 24 obviously had all the injuries, but even without the injuries, it still just, it didn't feel like you were really going to even repeat what you were able to do in 23. And so to me, you kind of have these two ends of the spectrum of like, okay, so then like, how do we meet in the middle? How do we realize that we got to play some smaller ball here throughout the season, but we still also have to figure out how to incorporate the aggression and the greatness that we saw in 23. Like I'm such a firm believer in balance. But I do think to the core of Jordan Love, like he's a baller, he's a gamer, he wants to let it rip. And unless you have the pieces around him, unless you have the receivers around him, you're not going to really see his greatness. He will be held back more so in a way that you may not see some of these other quarterbacks do, like a Josh Allen or a Mahomes or a Lamar, because of just the style of play is just fundamentally different. So, and I think that's okay. I'm okay having quarterbacks have different styles, different skill sets, and being able to shine in different circumstances and not shine in other circumstances. Like, it's not all or nothing to me. And like I always give the caveat, it's like if we're having like GOAT conversations, and then it makes more sense to. But if not, then it's just like this is, then you're building a team around your quarterback and trying to set him up for maximal success. So for me, what's the ceiling for Jordan Love? Like absolute greatness, just special, just oh my gosh, unbelievable. What's the floor? Ugly. I mean, ugly, not so good. Not so good, because at the core of Jordan Love's being, he wants to let it rip. And if he doesn't have the team to let it rip to, how are you going to be successful? You can't. So, But again, I'm okay with that, and I feel like the Packers are used to that with some of the famous quarterbacks that they've had in the past. Like I don't know if that's I don't think that's news to them. So, but I am excited to see how Jordan Love matures and grows in it, and if his game can evolve, because he's talked about that last year, wanting to evolve, wanting to grow. And Colin actually did a great interview with Drew Brees, where Drew Brees talked about a quarterback is very much like a gambler, and they have to understand when you're making this throw versus when you're not. Okay, the throw didn't go well. Like the outcome wasn't the outcome that I wanted, but was it because I made the wrong decision? Did I make the right decision, but I threw the wrong type of ball? Was it the right play, the right decision in a vacuum and the right ball, but it was at the wrong time in the game, considering the score and the quarter? Like, it's like, those are all the things that you need to factor. Those are the things that Jordan Love does not seemingly factor right now, but that does come with time. And that is something that Drew Brees was like, that takes time. And we were kind of robbed a little bit of that development because of the injuries. So I'm just a lot more patient with quarterbacks than seemingly everyone else is out there in the world. But, the pressure and the volume and the temperature, whatever analogy comparison you want to use, it does little by little. It just gets higher and higher and higher unless you perform. And so I do think it's fair to have some of that on Jordan Love. But for me, I'm just kind of, I get hyper focused on the year in front of me. What are we going to look at this year? And then we can try to put it in a bigger picture thing. But I'm just focused on, what does everything look like today, right now? And how does it grow and evolve? But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers? What do you think the ceiling is for Jordan Love? And how do you feel that apparently, I guess, according to Mike Sando, like even the executives and the teams are seemingly kind of all over the place with Jordan Love in terms of their conclusions that they've drawn about him. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.